Good afternoon, my fellow Lanard fans. This is Walter McLeod, aka Lanardalicious. Now, this week I have gotten myself bombarded with some very interesting emails from you. And one of the main things you wanted to ask was about the global shipping crisis. Y'all didn't really ask a lot about the Hong Kong Toy Fair, but that's okay. Nothing's been cleared for me to show, so I can't really touch on that. But I do want to touch on this shipping crisis because I've noticed it as well. I've walked into a Walmart, I've walked into a Target, and I've seen bare shelves and they can't get product. So it is definitely an issue. Now, I'm looking at, one of the busiest and efficient international ports in the world, connecting to 600 destinations worldwide. Last year, Hong Kong handled about 18 million shipping containers. But in recent months, port activity has slowed, with the shipping industry facing a shortage of containers in Asia. And that has triggered a surge in cost. Costs have increased almost 4 times. Moving, for example, a container from Asia to Europe or to the USA costs 4 times the amount than it did this time last year. Prices aren't the only issue. It's also caused by a heavy backlog in Asia, with some of the exporters struggling to get products to the consumers. China is ramping up container production to meet the demand, but a consumer shift from services to goods due to the pandemic is continuing to drive up production and exports from Asia. Now, due to the pandemic, this problem isn't just shipping containers. It's compounded by staffing at the ports. Limited availability of truck drivers and dock workers means it's taking longer to unload and pack the ships. And that's creating floating traffic jams at ports around the world. This means the shipping containers are staying outside for longer periods of time. The industry is finding that there are empty containers stranded all over North America, Europe, Australia, and other ports just waiting to be returned, but there's not a trucker or cargo ship available to take those empty containers back. The pandemic has caused major disruption in world trade. This is a global supply crisis that many of us won't see easing up, at least till the end of the year. Now, sure, it's going to improve, but these issues are going to be felt by us, the consumer. And those higher prices means ultimately that prices will increase at the retail level to cover those costs, at least until the supply issue subsides. Now, take all of that into consideration, and then you look at last year with that cargo ship that lost almost 2,000 shipping containers in a Pacific storm. And then you have that cargo ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal. So you had a traffic jam that was already, backlogged, getting, ships back and forth. And then now you have that happen, and it's just compounded it. So yeah, we're going to see gaps in product not able to be immediately reordered because of this. And if you want to keep prices lower, they're going to have to order more at a retail level than they normally would. So say, for instance, Lanard, which, this is my channel, so I'm only going to use Lanard in this scenario. Say, for instance, Walmart, as the top Lanard importer for the United States, say, for instance, under normal conditions, they only would order, say, 20,000 of a particular unit. For them to have on hand for, restock, they're going to have to place a higher order. That way, if they sell out, like if you bought all of them at your favorite store, your local store, and they were then sold out, they can then ship it from their distribution center here in the U.S., which they have sprinkled all over the U.S. They have like 5 or 10. I will have to actually look that up, and I should have looked it up before I started this rant. But that is going to be one of the ways that this can be handled. They can just order more, but this is not just going to affect Lanard. This is going to affect your favorite electronics, furniture, used cars, anything that is exported and imported that is shipped through freight, you're going to see delays, and these delays are going to be felt in your pocket. So I really do appreciate this being, something that a lot of you wanted me to touch on. I really appreciate the emails. I read every single one of them. I want to thank you guys for some of the suggestions of stuff that you want to see covered here on the channel. And I really want to thank Lanard for continuing the TheCorpsMultiverse. And I mean, this is something that is good news. That the Corps' 35th anniversary, the Time Crisis, Star Troopers, these lines are going to continue, and yes, we are going to see them here at domestic retail. Because come hell or high water, Lanard's going to make sure that they continue to bring the fun. So thank you, Lanard. Thank you for bringing the fun.